Hey free-to-play gang, welcome back to another video. So let's take a look at how we can make the most out of the event itself. And I have already completed chapter 2, so that is why I'm facing our first boss called the Rock Titan. And this is very easy for us to calculate because all of the single stages over here, they each cost 8 stamina to run. But the rewards that you get differ from level to level. So depending on the difficulty that you start off with, that will give you a different amount of Divine Essences. So the thing is, the Divine Essence is used for the first part of the event shop, and there will be the Thunder Divine Essence, which is meant for the second part, which should probably come from the 4th chapter if I'm not wrong. So we're gonna go ahead. This is incredibly difficult. Even for me, this is extremely difficult, let alone some of you guys who have probably poorer relics or like, you know, just lower tiered espers and all that, right? Just not fully ascended and all that good stuff. What I do feel like works for me is to just run something a little bit safer. So because you are already restricted to 1 DPS Esper for this slot, which is going to be Gaius, so you might want to make do with like the rest of your Espers. So for me, I'm just bringing one Jiang Jiuli for extra DPS, and everyone else is just going to be support. And I feel like that is the best way for me to achieve a more consistent clear, and that's about it. So let's take a look at the shop and what we can expect to obtain. So as you notice over here, right, I'm going to be using the 10th difficulty. I mean, it's very hard for me to base it off anything else except for the maximum difficulty because I want to estimate the best rewards that we can get, which is going to be 40 Divine Essences. So I truly apologize if you are stuck at like, let's say difficulty 1 and all that. Just try to scale down the resources and increase the stamina cost respectively, right? So here is the shop. What is worth it and what is not worth it? It costs you 8 stamina for 40 of the Divine Essences. So in other words, this Super Sound Matrix costs you 500 of the currency, which should only cost you 100 stamina to obtain. And 100 stamina for a Super Sound Matrix is extremely good value. So in my opinion, right, just my opinion, the Super Sound Matrix is probably worth about 3 times as much as your gold record. So this is an instant buy. In my opinion, the Super Sound Matrix is not only just 3 times worth more than a gold record, but it's also highly limited. It's limited to your Temporal Tower clearing, it's limited to your events clearing, it's limited to your bounties. Oh, and before I forget, your other shops as well. So obviously, whenever you have the opportunity to buy Super Sound Matrices, go ahead and buy it. They are extremely limited and very powerful as well. They are really good. Now for the gold record, this will only cost you 80 stamina. Same for the flow record as well. So in between them, they are definitely very high value, right? 80 stamina for one piece is extremely good value. And the Epic Ablimon, this is enough said, right? This Epic Ablimon, I feel like it's worth twice as much as the gold record, but it's even cheaper than the gold record, so it's a confirmed buy. Same goes for the Epic Starymon as well. This is extremely good value. And the Reset Stone, this is like a free flawless relic altogether, right? So if you use the Reset Stone on your flawless relics, then you are going to be able to like, you know, reset it, and therefore it's as if you obtain a new flawless relic, so to speak. So this is of course really good. And the rest are kind of iffy in my opinion, right? So the EXP booster, this is really iffy. The Elemental Wave booster as well, it's kind of iffy. The Story Voucher, I feel like you can pass on it. And finally, the Thunder Blind Box, which we have partaken in before, but now it seems to be a little bit more expensive. I'm not sure whether is this worth it at all because it costs you about somewhere around 20 stamina. Yeah, my mathematics was right. I actually went to check. It is really 20 stamina. I don't think that this would be necessarily that worth it. Let's just buy one and see what we get from it, right? 80k gold for 20 stamina, you know what, it's probably worth it. If you keep getting 80k gold, I think this is really worth it. Let's just buy another one here. Rare Starymon. Okay, actually, you know what? If these are the rewards, right? So you have Relic Essences, Nexus Crystals. If you were to obtain Rare Starymon and Gold, I think it's super worth it. But if you're going to get Nexus Crystals, might be worth it. I don't know how much we would get, but then there is also like Relic Essences and all that, which can be not that worth it in my opinion, right? So all in all, I do feel like the first 6 items over here, they're very well worth buying. And not to forget Magni as well. I think Magni has a pretty decent kit as a controller, so I think he is really well worth buying, and especially since he's a free epic Esper, just go ahead and buy it. You don't want to eventually have to summon him through the gold records, right? Now I'll talk about the Thunder Essence after the update is done because I do not know how valuable these currencies are, right? Maybe the boss drops a lot more, maybe the boss drops a lot less, who knows? Now apart from that, there are some ways for you to improve on your stats and improve on your clearing ability over here, right? Which is just basically the boost. So the more you partake in like, the boss fights and all that, you're going to gain the currency over here, which is used to upgrade your skills, or rather to upgrade your Thunder Matrix. But the thing is, unlike the previous Zora event, this is not that game-breaking in my opinion. It doesn't provide a lot of stats, it doesn't provide a whole ton of utility. Generally, I don't really feel like everything is like that game-breaking in my opinion. So what I will do is just try to, you know, expand outwards and just cover everything, and that's about it. But most importantly, do not feel bad if you cannot partake in the final difficulty. I think this is incredibly difficult. Right, even for me, it's incredibly difficult. we do have some missions. So as you progress through the story itself and you defeat a certain number of Espers, right, like defeat a Rock Titan 20 times, you'll be able to complete more of these achievements, and it's basically just achievements, so that's all. And finally, we have the resource depot here, and you can unlock these guys, right, these nodes, within the story itself. So it's very important for you to complete the story as soon as you can, especially as soon as the next chapter drops, which is in how many days? In 2 days time. And finally, the Shackled Lair, this will be available in 5 days. So that's about it for the event. There is one thing I want to discuss a little bit, just to inform you guys, my audience, and what's happening in the banner. So why is it that we're not getting the record conversion, right? So that was actually mentioned in the announcement notes. So take a look at the notice over here. Over here in the further notice, right? In the meantime, the original record conversion event has been cancelled. Now, the reason why I feel like they did it, which is not, I can't justify it because it's taking away from our rewards. But the thing is, if you take a look at the Go Record banner, and now that we have actually returned the PT for him, what actually happened here is, let's say you entered the banner with like 90 out of 120, then after this patch, what you will notice is that you have 70 out of 100, which means that they have kind of like given you 20 free summons already, which kind of amounts to the rebate value of 200 summons. So I guess that's where the trade-off really is. So it benefits players with like less than 200 summons, basically. But if you summon more than 200 times, then obviously you're not going to get the rest of the rebate, right? But the thing is, previously the rebate caps off at 200 summons as well, so it's really no different. So all in all, I do feel like it's a win, but of course some people may argue that if they gave us that 20 summons instead of just removing it from this limit, right, this PT over here, if they gave us those summons, that would shorten the PT from 450 to 430, so to speak, because you have that free 20 rebate summons to summon over here. I fully agree. So it's a little bit of a confusing topic in my opinion, and I don't really want to talk too much about it, but I am kind of happy with whatever that they have designed over here. I think this is good enough in my opinion. So yeah, that's it for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the content as well, and the event. Most importantly, the event, right? It is story driven. So do take your time to understand the story a little bit better, understand the Espers, and he has some incredible backstory, right? But with that said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to give a thumbs up. It really helps the channel, and subscribe for more Dislyte content. Now with that said, this has been Free to Play, and as always, I will see you in the next video.